This book makes me want to cry all over again. Oh my gosh. This feels cringy, this feels icky, and I got my heart ripped out of my chest. Get kinky, queen. Immediately, yes. Immediately, yes. Hello, book besties. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney. If you are new here, we are doing a vlog that I have been like having the intention to film for months and months and months, and I just haven't executed it. Because I've been making such strict like monthly TBRs, I feel like I've had to stick to them, which has put me in a reading slump like month after month. So I want to spice it up this month. I'm not making a TBR for the month of September. I want to mood read and do fun reading challenges. So this is the first one, and I am totally handing it over to my best friend for this one. So we are going to be doing my best friend picks my reads for a week. So we already kickstarted. I texted her this morning and I said, bestie, like, guess what time it is? And she was like, oh no, what is going on? And I was like, it's time for my bestie to pick my reads for the week. So I sent her a picture of my TBR cart and the residual books that were on my August TBR that I didn't get to. And I was like, have at it. Like, I'm not saying a word, choose a book. And she's like, this is so much pressure. Like, I'm super stressed out. We both have people pleaser tendencies and we can't make a decision to save our lives. So like, we can never decide what we want to eat, what we want to do, anything like that. So hold on, someone's calling me. Okay, sorry, I had to answer that because I've had like a really crazy, scary morning. So like, if it was someone important calling me, I needed to get a hold of them. So I apologize for that. But back to the books, back to the good things. I sent her my entire TBR cart and I just said like, have at it basically. And her response was amazing. She said, okay, I picked Birthday Girl with a little like devil horn smiley emoji. And then she said, get kinky, queen. So we're gonna be reading a very spicy book to kick off this video. I've heard like Penelope Douglas books in general, I think, are they dark romance? I don't entirely know. I just know that it's been a little bit out of my comfort zone and I know that they're very spicy. So I'm here for it. I don't mind spice. I like spice in books. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I think this is a boyfriend's dad romance, which is why I've put this off, because that feels like a little weird to me. But in a fiction sense, I think like maybe I could jive with it. We shall see. We shall see. Let me grab it here. All right, so here's the first book we're reading this week. I'm very excited. I need to peel this Target sticker off because that's gonna drive me crazy. But I'm happy because one, this is on Kindle Unlimited, so I can read it on my Kindle at night. And two, the book is so floppy. So like prime reading experience. I can fold, I can bend, I can get comfy, I can get cozy. Oh my gosh. Literally the first word that I read in this book was, wow. Okay. All right, so that's going to be where we start. I will definitely touch base once I start this book. I have a little bit of work left to do. I'm going to the fair tonight, and so I'll be busy with that, but hopefully I will have some time to read somewhere in there. If not, I'll update you tomorrow, and hopefully we can make some progress through Birthday Girl. I'm very excited to see what all the hype's about. People feel really strongly one way or another about Penelope Douglas, so I'm ready to form my own opinions and we're gonna do it together. And shout out to my bestie for choosing my reads this week. I love you. She's chosen to not be on camera, which I totally respect and totally understand. But if you're seeing this, you know who you are, and I adore you and I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, my book besties. I am here with a little update on Birthday Girl. I have to be so honest, I was going to do my bestie chooses my reads for a week. I have been not really in the reading mood, so it's actually been an entire week since I started this book, and I'm only like 33% of the way through, I think my Kindle said. So it's going to be bestie chooses my reads until I'm done having bestie choose my reads. I am so sorry. But I do want to update on my thoughts on Birthday Girl. I didn't think I would be enjoying this, but I am. I didn't think, okay, hear me out. It's not a book that I'm like, can't stop thinking about, I need to go get my Kindle. Like, you know when you're in a book and you're like, I don't want to put this down. I don't have that because I will read one chapter every single night and fall asleep. But when I am reading it, I'm into it. What is going on with my hair right here? Hello? I never, ever in a million years thought that I could root for a boyfriend's dad romance. Like, that grosses me out thinking about that. Like, it just feels wrong. Not to yuck anyone's yum, you do you, but it felt weird to me. But since I had heard such mixed reviews on Penelope Douglas and this book in general, I feel like I had to form my own opinions, and I'm surprised with the way that I do like the dad in this book. I have a couple pros and a couple cons. Hear me out. So I like that the main character Jordan and Pike is the dad. I like that they met entirely separate of Jordan and her boyfriend. I like that their connection was entirely separate and she didn't meet him as being her boyfriend's dad. Like, she didn't have the context when they first met. That helps, and I think it also helps that her boyfriend is a complete dud. Like, I am not rooting for them whatsoever. I do not condone the cheating trope. I do not condone anything like that in books. I hate the cheating trope. She's not technically cheating yet. I don't know what's going to happen, but there's definitely like tension between her and the dad. And normally, like, if someone's in a relationship, I need them to be loyal, or I just like can't root for them, no respect for them. Like, I don't know. But her boyfriend sucks, like sucks. So honestly, I'm rooting for her to just like get the heck out of this entire situation. But it does help her case with the romance with Pike, the dad, that her boyfriend is as crappy as he is. What I don't like is that she is 19 years old. If she were like 23, 24, 25, I would feel a little bit better. She still feels like really a child, which is icky. And I also don't like that she is in a sense, what's the word? Not compromised, not sensitive. What is the word? Vulnerable. She's in a vulnerable position, just like financially, emotionally, like there's just so many things, like she's vulnerable right now, and it makes it feel more predatory, the fact that she's in a vulnerable place and she's 19 years old and it's his son's girlfriend. Ugh. In terms of like pure entertainment, I am entertained by the story. I do feel like I'm entertained by the story. It's the morality piece of it, and like, am I really rooting for any romance here? No. I'm rooting for Jordan and her sister to get the heck out of their situations and find a joyful life for themselves. But the chaos is entertaining. It's entertaining. Fiction sells. Fiction sells? Drama sells? Sex sells? What's the saying? It's fictional. And so with that, I'm into the drama. I'm into the scandal and everything going on. But in the real world, there are some morality issues that I'm running into. And like, ugh. So that's where we're at as of now. I wanted to update both on the timeline piece that it's actually not my bestie choosing my reads for a week, since I'm still only 30% into the first book she picked for me a week ago. And wanted a little bit of, a little bit of an update on Birthday Girl, since I am not flying through it, since I am snail slugging my way through it. Very slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, it's not a rush. But that is the update as of now. It's kind of like a cozy day. It's starting to feel like fall, so I might go read some of this. I'm also in the middle of Asimov, struggling my way through Asimov. So between the two of these, I'm gonna go work my way through some of them. Probably this one, because I feel like I don't have the brain power for Asimov right now. So I will update you when I have an update or when I finish this book and Bestie picks my next read. But either way, I'll see you shortly. Hello, besties. Ignore my wet hair. I just got out of the shower and I didn't feel like doing anything with myself. But I finished Birthday Girl last night and I really needed to catch you up on it and fill you in on everything. I struggled so hard to get through this book. There's no reason a 400-page book should take me a week and a half to read. This felt never ending, and it's like I wasn't actively like hating it when I was reading it, but why did this book feel like it was never gonna end, ever? I think it's partially the chapters are pretty long, honestly, and well, to me, long chapters or anything like consistently over 10 pages feels like long chapters to me. And I would say by like the 40% mark, I wasn't super into it. I feel like it started so strong, and I know my updates were like really positive at the start, and like it felt like this was going to be a really great book. And then we like hit a turning point and I was like, this feels cringy, this feels icky. The things that this man is saying, not even like, well, kind of icky in like an inappropriate type of way, but more just like cringe. Like if a man said that to me in real life, I'd be like, ew. We took a harsh turn from like a pretty solid romance to cringy Wattpad smut, and I didn't love that. I didn't love that. I also feel like there was so much immaturity in this book, so much drama, and so many like cringe-worthy quotes that it almost felt like Hallmark card writing is what I call it. Like when a man says something romantic and it's like, that is like a cheesy Pinterest graphic. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I was like, ugh, don't love it. So I ended up giving this 3 stars. I would recommend it in certain circumstances. I was giving my bestie, the one that picked this book, kind of a little overview. She's like, so what's the review? I would recommend this if someone wanted like unique romance with like borderline cringy smut. Like sometimes you want just like crappy smut. I don't know if that makes sense. And also if someone wanted like something a little bit morally gray, because morally, I don't know how I feel about this book. I don't love that she was 19 years old and vulnerable, and like just some of the circumstances around their romance. Like if there had just been minor tweaks, I would have felt so much better about their romance. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That said, I made it through. 3 stars. I'm done. And Bestie picked my next book, so I texted her earlier. Said, time for you to pick my second book. She said, oh, yay, 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 yay. And then I sent her a picture of my massive TBR cart, and I said, have fun. She said, OMG, so many good choices. I'm going to have to say Wild Eyes. And I said, hallelujah, yeehaw, baby. I'm so excited for Wild Eyes. Let me grab it. This is Elsie Silver's newest release. It's the second book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. It comes after Wild Love, which I adored Wild Love so much, and I wanted to read this so bad. I think she knew how excited I was, and I think she kind of did me a solid, which like, bestie, I love you for that. I'm really, 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 really excited for this. Elsie Silver is one of my new favorite authors. You guys know this. I feel like this book is going to be so amazing because we met Weston. His name's Weston, right? Yes, we met Weston in Wild Love, and I honestly like adored his character, maybe even more than Ford Grant. Well, different. It's a different type of adore. I loved Weston in Wild Love, and I'm so excited that we get his book now. He just seems like the biggest sweetheart, but also like kind of a smartass, and I love him. I just feel like the banter is going to be amazing. The romance is amazing. I think this is like a celebrity romance too. I think she's a chart-topping country singer, and she comes to Rose Hill for the recording studio and meets Weston. I'm so excited she picked this book because I wanted to vlog it anyways, and so now we can just include it in this vlog. So I'm going to be starting this probably today at some point once I finish some work, and I can't wait. Let's dive in. I will update you when I make some progress on this. I'm so excited. I need to finish work like right now so I can read this. Okay, that is all. Hopefully next time you see me, my hair will be dry. Whatever. I'll talk to you soon. Hello, besties. It has been a hot minute since I updated you. Full transparency, I fell into a little bit of like a mental funk, and I was just not feeling myself. I was looking in the mirror and I was like, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I was being so mean to myself, and I didn't want to stick a camera in my face when I felt like that. I know, what a concept. I am like making light of it a little bit, but honestly, like mental health is a wild ride, and I just had a little bit of like a tough moment. I think we're on the up and up. I think we're coming out of it, but I was just not feeling it. So I apologize deeply for not updating you while reading Wild Love in the midst of it, but I probably couldn't have updated you anyways because I binge read this book so fast that like there was very little breaks in reading this, like very little time to stop and update because I was so obsessed. Thank goodness for my best friend for picking this book because holy moly, 5-star read. I'm in love with this. Weston healed parts of me that I didn't even know needed healing. He reminds me so much of someone in my life, and like I really, really, really resonated to the female main character in this book, and I feel like it just hit so hard at this particular moment in my life. It was amazing. It was amazing. I tabbed and annotated the heck out of it. Let me read you just like some of the quotes. Skylar, our female main character here, this is from her perspective, and she says, "It's funny how I can be surrounded by so many people who profess to love me and still feel so utterly alone." Yeah, when I was in the middle of like a little mental health rut, that hit. Oh my gosh, the scene, if you've read this book, the scene with the broken glass in the kitchen, that healed me. Like single-handedly a man like that. Oh my gosh. And it literally says, he'll never know, but in that moment he healed me just a little bit. Having like a calm and steady and secure man, immediately yes. Immediately yes. This book makes me want to cry all over again. The constant pressure has finally hit a boiling point. I don't want people to be impressed by me. I just want to be myself. Finally. And she says, I'm no open book, but it seems as though all Wes needs to do is look at the cover to know something's wrong. He sees past all the vibrant colors, all the shiny foiling. It's like no matter how pretty the cover is, he knows that if he opened the book, the pages would be blank. I can't fool him. He sees right through me. The first person that's like ever truly seen her and like cared to stop and see her. My whole heart, my whole heart. This is what got me. It says slow and steady. That's what this man represents. No chaos, no panic. He soothes me. I'm sorry. I could read you this entire book cover to cover because I could have annotated the entire thing. I love this. I love this. I loved Wild Love. I really, really did. And I really liked Weston in Wild Love, like being a side character. And I was super excited for his book, and it lived up to my expectations and then some. It was phenomenal. I guess I could give you like a little bit about this book. I didn't even really tell you about it. I just told you how much I loved it. So it's a single dad cowboy romance-ish, like, yeah, cowboy romance. Single dad, small town cowboy romance. She is a famous country singer, and this book was everything. The kids in this book melted my heart. I loved them. I want them to be brought into my home. I want to just care for them and hug them. I related so deeply to Skylar. I'm in love with Weston. Like, perfect read. Amazing, 5 stars. So after finishing this book, I texted my bestie and I said, it's your time to shine. And she said, you finished Crazy Eyes? I said, I sure did. And then I sent a picture of my TBR cart. And she said, this is hard. Do you need a genre switch? And I said, sure, I don't know, just follow your heart. And she said, I want to say Consider Me because of the beautiful cover, but if you want a genre switch, IDK because I don't know what books aren't romance. And I said middle shelf and some of the bottom, mainly the middle. Whatever. And she says, they all look like they will be bad, not gonna lie. And I said, that's because you only read romance. And I said, Consider Me works, if she wanted to pick that. And she said, real, I just don't know. Consider Me or The Therapist. And then she said, The Therapist looks like it will be bad though, so I'm very sorry. This is more stressful than I anticipated. So knowing that and knowing like she wanted a genre switch, I chose to pick up The Therapist. I'm gonna show you. This is The Therapist. I picked it up. I have DNF'd this book prior to like this. I had DNF'd this book 5 times. 5 times. I read Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, and I liked it. Like, I thought it was fine. It wasn't like phenomenal, but it was fine. I don't know why I can't just like get rid of this book and like knock it off my TBR. I keep soft DNFing it and I'm like, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. It sounds good. Okay, so I'm just gonna be blunt. I am on DNF number 6. I simply cannot read this book. I tried the ebook, I tried the audiobook, I tried physical reading it. I can't. So number 6, DNF. I, at this point, need to get through this book just because I'm stubborn, and because if I get through it, I can rate it, and then maybe my rating will be payback for all the time I've wasted. I feel so frustrated that I couldn't get through this book, but there's something in my brain. I'm such a strong advocate for DNFing books, and there's something about this book in particular that I'm like, I have to read it at some point. I have to read it. So every time I DNF it, it goes back on my TBR cart instead of to the donation pile like it should. I don't know. I digress. I don't know, but she picked The Therapist. I tried and I said, nah, bestie, you gotta pick again. I'm so sorry. So that's where we're at today. So I messaged her again. Bless her heart for just putting up with me, honestly. I said, bestie girl, I have unfortunate news. She said, oh no, what? I said, I absolutely have to DNF The Therapist for the 6th time. She said, LMAO, I told you not to read it. I said, I tried audio, I tried ebook, I tried physical, it's not happening. She said, burn it. I said, I'm determined to read it someday so I can give it a 1-star review as payback for all my wasted time. She said, give it a 1-star review anyways, who cares, trash book. I won't go that far. I need to read it before I review it. My personal style, my personal taste. I will not rate a book if I haven't read at least over half of it, and I haven't gotten that far in this one. So anyways, I told her to pick again, and she said, I choose What We Keep. And then she said, okay, but I want to read Glass Girl, but I have to wait until November. I got an arc for Glass Girl, which sounds really, really good. She said, no, I pick What We Keep, Go Crack It Open. And I said, okay, Firefighter Slay. And she said, your favorite, because I love a good firefighter. So we're reading What We Keep. This is the new release by Jennifer Milliken. I don't know how exactly to say her last name, but I read Here for the Cake by her last month, I believe it was, and I was blown away by it. I was mad I put it off for so long. This is a troubled marriage. This is a troubled marriage, second chance firefighter romance, I believe. It's about Gabriel and Avery, and all I know is it is firefighter, and I love a good firefighter. So this will be our third and probably final book in this video. So this ended up being all romance because I couldn't stick to the one thriller that she picked for me. I am so sorry. It is my fault, not hers. But that's where we're at. That was a super long update, but I think I got you caught up to where we're at currently. I'm going to start What We Keep probably tonight or tomorrow, and I will update you in the middle of this when I have an update for you, and we'll power through this, and then yeah, let's see how it goes. All right guys, thanks for bearing with me with like an hour-long update. I swear I've been talking for like at least half an hour at this point. I don't even know how long it's been, but I will talk to you when I have something else to say. Bye! Well, hello there. It feels like it has been 100 years since I picked up the camera for this vlog, and it kind of has been. I read What We Keep, and I'm gonna get into my review, but it took me so dang long to get into this book because I only was reading this book only with the physical copy, so I had no audio, and it was like my nighttime read. I don't know if anyone else does that. Like I have a daytime book, like if I listen to an audiobook that's usually during the day, or if I stop and pick up a book, I normally have like a nighttime book that lives by my bed and then a daytime book. I don't know if anyone else is like that. I could be totally weird, but this was like the by my bed nighttime read, and I've been exhausted. Like I am fully in, I'm sitting funny on my leg. I'm just gonna fall asleep. I'm fully in like a burnout phase of life, I feel like. I feel like I've overworked myself in every way, shape, and form, and I've not been able to get enough sleep. Like I sat down to read this every single night, and I would get maybe 1 or 2 chapters through, and I would be like, my eyes were physically like not able to stay open. So needless to say, took me a lot longer than I intended and than I wanted to get through this book, but I loved this. I went in expecting a spicy, smutty firefighter romance, and I got my heart ripped out of my chest, thrown on the floor, stomped on, shattered, and then picked up so delicately and pieced back together, all within like the 400, 500 pages of this book. Yes, it's a firefighter romance. Yes, there's a couple of steamier moments, but it is an emotional romance. Like it is a heartfelt, gut-wrenching romance. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. So this book starts off, we have Gabriel, who is the firefighter, and he saves Avery, our female main character, from a fire while she's a college student. So she goes to the fire station to thank him for saving her life, and sparks kind of fly. He asks her on a date, and long story short, they end up married. That is not a spoiler. That happens super early on in the book, but essentially their marriage goes through a lot of hardship, a lot of turmoil, and it's just kind of a beautiful representation about human relationships and humanness and making mistakes and being flawed and messing up and hurting the people that you love as a result of your own internal mistakes, and like the way that your own chaos and your own issues like affect the people that you love naturally. I don't know, it just felt like a really great depiction of the authenticity and the reality of being human. Also, our female main character in this book is an aspiring writer, so I always love like the author trope when it's thrown in a book. I love reading about authors or like anything bookish, so I thought that was kind of fun too. Jennifer Milliken, I don't exactly know how to say her last name. Milliken, I think. I love her. I think she will be an auto by author for me from now on. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 stars. I was torn between a 4 and a 4.5. I feel like it's kind of like a 4.25. I have to be so honest, if I had read this a little bit quicker, which is no fault of the book, it's like my own exhaustion and my own life circumstances that impacted that, I think I would have rated it higher. Because it took me so long and it was so spaced out, I feel like it lost a little bit of the pizzazz, which is totally unfair and like like I said, no representation of the book whatsoever. It was me. It was a me problem. So that concludes this video. That is our third and final book. Overall, we had some wins. I didn't totally love Birthday Girl. I think, what did I give that? 3 stars? Birthday Girl was tough. Birthday Girl was hard to get through. Wild Love blew me away. 5, 6, 7 Infinity Star read. What We Keep also blew me away. It was a beautiful, beautiful story that I will recommend to anyone that will listen to me. I thought this was just phenomenal. If you can get your hands on this book, I highly recommend you do. But that is all for this reading vlog. This took me way longer than I expected. This was going to be my Bestie Chooses My Reads for a week, and I think it's been close to a month at this point. Whoops! Sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles. It's fine. We're working with it. We're rolling with it. We got there anyways, so thank you to my bestie for picking my reads. Thank you to you guys for hanging out with me throughout this long extended reading vlog, and make sure you're following me on all the things. They're always linked down below, and subscribe here so you don't miss any future videos. I will catch you in the next one. Bye, book besties.